The proceeding began with routine formalities as the court called the case involving the state of Michigan against Shane Leroy Reimer. The judge requested identification from those present, ensuring that both counsel and representatives were properly recorded before moving forward. Almost immediately, the defendant raised an issue. He announced that he had dismissed his attorney weeks earlier, claiming she had misrepresented him. The judge questioned the timing and whether this decision had been made in court, then asked the obvious follow-up: whether he had secured new counsel. The defendant made his position clear. He intended to represent himself. The judge did not hide concern. She pressed him with direct questions about his background, asking if he had any legal education or even general academic qualifications. Each time, he dismissed the need for such credentials, insisting they were unnecessary for his defense. Trying to maintain structure, the judge explained that the court would not yet address evidence or arguments. Instead, she focused on the immediate request: whether he truly wished to remove his attorney and proceed alone. She warned him that even experienced individuals rely on legal representation, emphasizing the risks he was taking. The defendant, however, remained firm. He expressed deep distrust in the legal system, suggesting that everyone involved was working together against him. He criticized his attorney's previous actions, arguing that she failed to challenge key aspects of the case when she should have. In response, the judge explained the role of an attorney, clarifying that lawyers are bound by ethical standards and cannot file baseless or unsupported motions. She pointed out that his statements reflected a misunderstanding of legal procedure. Despite that, she acknowledged his right to represent himself, but made it clear that doing so carried significant consequences. She even went as far as to defend his attorney's reputation, describing her as a strong and respected advocate who did not back down easily. Still, she reiterated that if he insisted on proceeding alone, he would be held to the same standards as any trained lawyer. Confusion continued when the defendant questioned whether the hearing itself was a trial, believing he was supposed to face a jury that day. The judge corrected him immediately, explaining that the proceeding was only a pre-trial conference. She then revealed a critical issue. He had previously failed to appear for a scheduled pre-trial, which led to the cancellation of a jury trial and the issuance of a bench warrant for his arrest. After confirming that he had now appeared, the court agreed to set aside the warrant. However, the judge made it clear that his absence had caused unnecessary expense and disruption. The discussion then returned to his request to dismiss counsel. Despite being advised to reconsider and even being given an opportunity to speak privately with his attorney, he refused. The court informed him that if he chose to fire his public defender, another would not be appointed. His only options were to hire private counsel or proceed on his own. When asked again, he stood by his decision, insisting that he could prove his innocence without assistance. At that point, the court formally relieved his attorney of her duties. With that decision finalized, the judge outlined what would now be required of him. She explained that he would be responsible for filing motions, preparing jury instructions, submitting evidence, and following all procedural rules, tasks typically handled by trained legal professionals. When he asked how to complete these steps, the judge declined to provide guidance, reminding him that she could not offer legal advice. The court then moved forward with scheduling. A new trial date was set, along with deadlines for pre-trial filings and required submissions. The prosecutor confirmed that a plea offer had previously been made, outlining reduced charges in place of more serious felony counts. The judge ensured the defendant understood the offer and the potential consequences of proceeding to trial. Additional details regarding evidence, including body camera footage, were addressed, with instructions on how he could access discovery materials. As the hearing progressed, the judge continued emphasizing the complexity of the process and the importance of proper preparation. She warned him that failure to meet deadlines or follow procedures could limit his ability to present evidence during trial. Despite multiple opportunities to reconsider, the defendant remained unwavering. He acknowledged the challenges but chose to move forward without representation. The hearing concluded with the court setting all necessary dates and requirements, leaving the defendant fully responsible for his own defense. What remained was a clear and serious reality. His decision to stand alone in court would now shape everything that followed.